B-Bad and Brandon.
More specific instructions so I know what the absolute hell is going on.
We got no idea either.
You sit there and talk to the and answer the question. That's pretty much the specific.
And we don't know what the questions are yet.
No, we make
Everybody, we're rolling the dice. What could happen? We don't know.
we
Strap yourselves in. We're going on a journey.
I mean, as
We,
an avid platform podcast listener, Merryn, you would know that we have a strong, regimented system that we adhere to, policy and procedure. I think that'd cover up how we roll it. I think.
As I yawn loudly into the microphone after being adjusted in 36 different places this morning by my chiropractor.
Is your chiropractor Chuck Norris?
I fucking wish it was. How good would that be?
That's a lot of places to be.
Yeah, Jackie railed me
manipulated.
this morning. Hey, it's just hit me. But yes, we have a very strict and regimented.
Precision.
We are precise in how we attack and approach problems, but we have no problems, which is why we are very relaxed.
Yeah, I'm relaxed. I'm feeling good.
I don't think anything has ever phased you in your life.
Not often, no.
Oh, maybe one thing, but
That's a good place to be, though. You
100%.
You don't want to sweat the small shit because then you're just stressed all the time and you get nothing
All the
done.
big things either. I don't stress on them either.
no, you're right.
Merryn, I think what we'll do is we will.
We should probably introduce.
Introduce. Yes, we have Merryn.
Merryn. We do have Merryn. Hello, Merryn.
Becky with the blue hair over here.
Mayhem, Merryn.
Merryn Mayhem. Yeah, I got that name actually about 12, 15 years ago at uni. So it turns out I've been chaotic for a while.
Wait, 12, 15 years ago?
Yeah, I'm 34 in about 2 weeks.
Get fucked.
You are not.
I was born in 1988.
Yeah.
Just a year after Dirty Dancing came out.
That's when I started primary school.
It is not.
It is.
Yeah, he's old. You got to remember, he's old. He turns 40 this month.
Hey, shh, 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 shh. I don't age.
So, Merryn Mayhem.
40.
Where do I even start? I don't even know how I ended up in this room, to be honest. Thank you for having me here.
No, you're welcome.
Well, the only regimented question to this Merryn Mayhem is you will have the opportunity with 21 words and or sounds to describe yourself, who you are, and what you do. Brandon will count them.
Loosely.
It's...
We gotta,
I lose count at like 15. I forget because I use one hand and then like you've opened and shut it a few times. You can't remember how many times you've done
you
it.
know what gets me is when like people use words that you're not sure if are like 2 words or if they're hyphenated or...
Yeah, is it a compound word? Is it a hyphenated word? Is it a made-up word? All words are made up.
Yeah, that's mean.
So...
We're counting right now. Ready?
All right, we're counting. Okay. ADHD, there's a word. Bold, bright, energetic, strong. I'm running out of words already. That's a bad sign. We just got started.
No, that's a pretty good like platform to... hey, see the platform?
Look, jack of all trades, master of none. And that I like to think I have a load of skills. A lot of skills, not necessarily very useful skills, but I am the Swiss Army knife of a human being.
That's a fucking cool way to explain a person.
Swiss Army knife of a human being.
I want to know...
Well, that's the tagline for the for the thing there.
For the episode.
Yep.
The Swiss Army knife human. No. Human Swiss Army knife.
But I think when we hear jack of all trades, master of none, that's actually the first part of that saying. The latter half of that saying has a different intention. So how that saying is in our language is it's not great to have a lot of skills but not be a specialist. And if you read the rest of that, it is great to have a lot of skills. And like the original phrase, like it's been taken out of context. So when we bat around like, oh, master of all trades, jack of all trades, master of none, it's like not... In our culture, that's not a compliment.
No, now it's like, okay, you're a shit cunt.
But imagine, someone's got all of these like wonderful skills under the surface just ready to be unearthed. You never know who's going to be amazing at trivia or Jenga or whatever.
Jenga.
Yeah.
But like back in the day, you said it perfectly. Like that was, if you were, before currency and money, like you would trade services. So if you were a jack of all trades,
That was good.
you were the
Multiple
fucking man.
opportunities.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's okay. So what are your skills?
I'm going to resist the urge to have a Napoleon Dynamite moment.
I actually don't think I've seen that full
never
movie.
seen it either.
Probably most of the people listening to this won't have seen it either. You didn't miss anything. So I can teach people how to lift. I can teach people how to talk to themselves in a better way. I have a habit of being able to pick up new skills pretty quickly. So just before we got rolling, I said to Brandon that I went for a run this morning. And
Someone chasing you? You okay?
I'm running away. No, I'm not running away from my problems. I decided to get into running because I hated it.
Good call.
So that's an example of something that was not
Yeah.
a skill, that I made a skill.
Yep.
Because
rate
I'm not
that.
going to be beaten by
Yeah.
something as shit
How
as
far did you
running.
go?
Yeah,
I did about 3Ks this
Ooh,
morning.
well played.
that's fucking.
a
Average
long way,
pace, about 6.5 minutes.
Oh,
That's good.
Lovely. Lovely. Where would you like to take this running? And
To
just
the
until
finish line, no. No, I run because it's good for my heart health and my lung health, but also I
Absolutely.
run because it's something that I've hated my whole life. And over quarantine, I decided when the gyms were shut that I was going to learn a new skill and best something that had been besting me since I was about 7.
Yeah, fair. But I reckon that's like even on a very micro level in terms of like training someone even in the gym. The best gains I've made is when I just did the shit I hated.
Yeah.
Like, you know what?
We don't go to the gym to work on the shit
No.
we're already good at.
Yeah, it's like I'm gonna go do dips because I know I hate them, and I'm gonna chin up 3 days a week because I suck.
Yeah. If you
And
avoid the things you suck at, you never get better.
Yeah,
Correct.
Those are your weaknesses. You got to tie up those loose ends, or you're never going to level up.
100%. And I like what you said as well, like off the potty before about you sucked at it, but it's also a challenge.
Gyms were shut. I was locked in the house. The world was going to hell in a handbasket, and I needed a way to blow off some steam.
Yeah.
Say hell in a handbasket.
Yes, I did.
I've never heard that, but I'm going to steal it. What?
Well,
Never heard?
you're less than 30, so that's probably why.
Bro,
I'm old, everybody.
Bro, I turn 29 next week and I'm having a meltdown. But you
29, feeling fine.
yeah, but you guys have all crossed that hurdle.
30, oh God.
I know, bro. Fuck.
Okay, after 30, there's you stop giving a shit about
Yeah.
what other people think. Sometimes you'll catch a reflection after you leave the house and be like, "Well, I've got pants on. That'll do." You don't care.
I think I skipped that a bit early because like I remember going to a cafe one day in my soft suit, like just having a coffee, people looking at me, and my mates going, "What the fuck are you doing?" I'm like, "I'm just having a coffee." Like,
Have you ever seen what cyclists wear? It's not too dissimilar from a
Yeah,
soft suit.
that's what I'm like.
Cyclists love cafes.
Yeah.
Yeah, why
So-
can't, let me be me.
Yeah, they probably just thought this is a really jacked cyclist. Like, well, I wonder what
Stop
his
it.
routine is.
Stop it! I'm.
Right for 1 minute.
Huh?
I'll just be 1 minute.
Yeah, you be 2 minutes. I want to talk. Okay, so you got all these skills. Now you're currently studying as well.
Yes, so I'm studying a Bachelor of Exercise and Nutrition Science at
Yeah,
UQ.
right.
I'm in my 3rd year.
That's a long degree, if I'm not mistaken,
It-
because of the dual.
Well, it's a 3-year degree, but some of the courses that were offered over the last couple of years did not translate well to the online environment. So I
of
decided to
course.
put them at the back of my degree so
Yes.
that my biggest fear is ending up emerging as a professional with this degree, but not having the practical skills to actually do the job.
Now, I love that because I think it's a big problem in today's industry.
Yeah, you need
But
to have the
you're
physical
aware.
skills.
You're very aware of that because a lot of people come at exit uni and like, I fucking know everything.
Absolutely not. And it's like the Dunning-Kruger Effect. Anyone who's listening who's not familiar with the Dunning-Kruger Effect, it's, people who have a really small amount of knowledge in a topic, they're not aware of how much they don't know. And
Yes.
so they position themselves as experts. And I don't want to be that. I want to be constantly learning because there's a part on that scale where you end up, at that expert level in the field, and then finally your confidence in your knowledge matches up with your actual knowledge.
Yeah, right.
Things like biomechanics. If you ever want to sit and weep silently, I suggest trying to learn the physics of acceleration and velocity on the internet via Zoom.
Yeah.
So
That does not sound fun.
No. So trying to make sure that when I do graduate, I have all of those skills and those proper, real practical skills. There
Yeah.
are several courses that I'm going to do once everything goes back to normal.
So you're.
good.
I love that you're all about continual learning, but you're.
That's not my first degree. I also dropped out of a law degree in James Cook in my 4th year. I had 9 subjects to go and I would have actually been a lawyer.
So close.
Yeah.
Not for
Yeah.
you?
just yeah.
I didn't actually have a lot of support, so
Yep.
there was some
Yeah.
economic issues and a
Yep.
lack of support, which is really interesting because, and that's another topic. I've gone from being a uni dropout and someone that was poised to never do really well to accessing the appropriate supports, and my GPA is good.
Sweet.
I finished the top of my class in a couple of courses last semester. I had the worst GPA, and the first time I attempted to study without any support or the right environment around me, I had to show cause like 3 times in the first 2 years. And showing cause is basically writing a statement to the uni saying, I'm going to get my shit together and finish this degree. And
Yep.
I have been nowhere near that. So it really...
Sick.
That's unreal.
Having
Is
that
that-
support makes a big difference, eh?
Yeah, and the environment.
Yeah.
The environment that you put yourself in and asking for help when you
Mm-hmm.
need help. Literally, I dropped out and sort of disappeared into the ether.
Yep.
And this time I came back and I'm dominating.
Yes, sick.
How long have you had ADHD for?
Well, since I was born, most likely.
Fair play. When did you find out you had ADHD? Is a better question.
I discovered I had ADHD in August of 2020.
Yeah, right.
So after your
Chapter
first
1 of the pandemic.
Yeah, right.
So going through uni, obviously not knowing
No.
that would have made it.
I thought I had
the
anxiety.
the first time, sorry.
Yeah.
Would have made it very challenging.
Now, from my understanding, because a person close to me just got diagnosed with high functioning ADHD. Now, then they, it was explained to me as there's a spectrum. Like obviously you got your autistic at the very end, then your Asperger's, if I'm correct, and then you got your like high functioning ADHD and very intelligent people. So you're super intelligent
So
in what you know.
a point of clarification, ADHD, attention deficit hyperactivity disorder, is part of a group of disorders called neurodevelopmental disorders. So
Right.
autism is also a neurodevelopmental disorder. It basically means that at some point in your development, your brain, there's a few things that don't go to plan.
Yeah, okay.
So it's not something that you can develop. It's not something that you can catch. It's just that. It's like, your brain's running on iOS and I'm over here running Android.
That's a great analogy.
That's brilliant.
That was
Because the functional labels, I have an issue with labels, and
Yeah.
I understand the confusion because, particularly myself, like I've lived with this my whole life, and I had no idea.
Yeah.
I was just the weird person that couldn't sit down, or I was daydreaming. So functioning labels are a little bit deceptive in that high functioning labels are typically applied to people who are verbal. This is not ADHD specific. This is more autism specific. But high functioning typically is the label given to someone who's verbal
Yeah.
and has an IQ over 70.
Yep.
That doesn't tell you anything about somebody.
Yeah, right.
So someone can be intelligent, verbal, and seem to have their shit together and exist completely fine, but the level of impact of that condition they could be severely affected because it's not just one domain. So it's your emotional regulation, your executive function, so my ability to manage things like time,
Yep.
things like that. So in a sense that you are correct in that it's a spectrum and it affects everyone differently.
Yeah.
And it's a completely unique experience.
How has it changed your view on coaching and then how you learn? Like, because there's obviously a massive difference. Like going into uni this time around, knowing this, did you find that it was just much easier to zero in on what you could do, or what you wanted to do? Sorry.
So when I got diagnosed, I actually walked out and I just burst into tears because I was so relieved to have an answer to why some things... Like, how can I be so smart? How can I learn any of these skills? How can I, complete insane tasks but struggle to empty the dishwasher or walk past the bin for 3 days in a row because I know it needs to be taken out? Why have I been... it gave me some context to understand myself and just be nicer to myself.
Yeah,
for the
100%.
things that I can't control. And knowledge is power.
Yeah.
Yep.
You know what you're working with, you can work around it. So for me, I've always struggled with lateness. I've always struggled with losing things. I've struggled to make friends because the normal flow of conversation is sometimes hard.
Yep.
When you're drifting off and, I'm trying to pay attention to what someone's saying, but I'm like, what have I got to do today? I've got to do the groceries. And it's people take that as a very rude thing.
But it's not. It's
Just
just
you.
you.
So in the sense that finding out and getting the diagnosis meant that I put myself on a journey of learning to understand about it.
Yeah, wow.
Turns out I've aligned myself with a lot of people like me because in the last 3 years I've helped about 8 of my friends in my networks get diagnosed with either ADHD or autism.
Yeah.
Yeah,
right.
Yeah.
What's the process like to go into something like that? I imagine.
So in Australia, the framework differs state to state, territory to territory. Your best bet is if you identify some of these behaviours, particularly in your children, to get them assessed because the process is far easier for kids.
Yep.
Once you're an adult, we've learned all of these maladaptive coping behaviours, and a lot of our I'm going to cover up my deficiencies behaviour
Yeah.
masks the ADHD behaviours, which is how I got through 30 odd years of living. So in boys, it's a much more straightforward process. So most of my male friends have gone 1 or 2 appointments and their doctor's like, yeah, mate, ADHD as hell.
Yep.
And for girls, it can be a little bit different, and so it typically manifests itself. So the H in ADHD refers to hyperactivity.
Yep.
Everyone probably remembers a kid in primary school who would throw tanties and flip tables, and you know, that kid gets hauled out for an assessment because that's like your diagnosis as a kid really depends on how much your symptoms are affecting other people.
Uh-huh.
So there's hyperactive type, and then there's an inattentive type, which is more common in girls. So it's cute and endearing when girls are shy or quiet or imaginative or you know, distracted. It's cute and endearing. It's not cute and endearing when someone's, you know, behaving outwardly. So that hyperactive cases tend to get diagnosed more.
Yeah, right. Okay,
The
that
other
makes
ones get missed.
Yeah.
That's shit.
And then I imagine going back, even when you were in school,
Oh, the 90s.
that wouldn't have existed.
80s
No.
for Johnny.
That wouldn't have existed in a classroom setting for a teacher to
No.
either A, know about it, B, recognise it, or even have a procedure or something in place
Absolutely.
to look
Especially
after
not for
that.
girls.
Yeah.
I think for a long time it was thought that only boys could be affected by these conditions.
Really?
Yes, absolutely.
Oh, Jesus.
What dickhead thought that?
My first psychiatrist sat me down after 30 minutes and he's like, oh, I think there's something else going on. I sat in my psychologist's office, which was part of the diagnostic process, and he spoke to me for about 2 minutes and was like, look, I can't officially diagnose because that's the job of your psychiatrist, but I'm 99% sure that you have ADHD.
But that's the problem at the moment, from my understanding, is that to get the full diagnosis, you have to go to a psychiatrist.
Yes.
But because of the pandemic, they're booked out for nearly up to 12 months.
Yes. So turns out I didn't realise, because of powerlifting, training, my routine, being routine with my sleep, my nutrition, all the things that I did to keep myself healthy and performing well also supported my symptoms being managed.
Oh, wow. Cool.
Right.
So things that affect ADHD really negatively: lack of sleep. High stress, poor diet, and not enough physical activity. Because what do we get from physical activity? We get dopamine. We feel good. So all of these things that I had, without even knowing, had managed. So when the pandemic hit and everything got shut down, all of my tools in my toolkit got taken away. And all my routine got fucked up. Everything just started falling down. And I went to the doctor because I was not sleeping. I was laying awake all night, just stressed out. And I got misdiagnosed with anxiety, and I actually took mental health medication for that anxiety. Went back to the doc about a month later, and I said, I don't think these are working. I feel weird. This is like, I don't actually feel sad. Like, I don't think this is the right choice. And after a few questions, he said, oh my goodness, I think you might have ADHD. So the process is typically referral from your general practitioner. So they'll take a look at your symptoms and then they'll refer you to a psychiatrist. A psychiatrist in Queensland must diagnose, just because the medication that is typically used is very restricted. You may or may not have to do a urinary drug screening. I posted a photo on my story of me in the bathroom at the pathology lab with a bag of my pee, like, yes, we're doing this. So it can be a convoluted process. It can be an expensive process.
That was my next question. There might be a cost of entry on this sort of thing.
A lot of people out there can't
Not people can't afford.
Yeah,
right?
that's just another barrier to entry for people to get help.
The diagnostic testing cost about $500, and that's not the psychiatrist. That's the psychologist to administer the test battery, which is a IQ test, a general, like a mental health test. So they need to identify that some of these, there's a lot of crossover. So they need to rule out that there's nothing else going on. It could be OCD, it could be something else. You could actually have a learning disability. It could be hearing related. Like there's so many other things that can affect your ability to adult. So they have to be pretty thorough. They can't just be handing out Ritalin to everyone that comes in and is like, I'm late for work all the time, bro.
Here you go.
Turns out I had a bit of a longer process, and I'm afraid that that's because I am visibly tattooed and...
Oh, so you're judged?
Yeah, for sure. I had to do a urinary drug test. One of my mates who doesn't have tattoos went to his first psychiatrist appointment and walked out with a Ritalin script.
Really?
Yes.
Fucking hell.
So, I had to jump through fiery hoops and Hunger Games myself through all of these appointments. Now, I did mention that the time management is hard.
Yeah.
I had to go to these appointments and, like, Yeah, like
Fucking
whoever
hell.
thought the process is hard because it's expensive, it's not accessible, there's
Yep.
not a clear framework, there's
Yep.
not a step 1, step 2, step 3.
Yep.
You know, if your doctor doesn't believe you and
Yep.
just thinks you're depressed, they might miss it.
Yeah.
If you've
That's
learned,
the thing.
Yeah.
Like doctor,
That's
you go
true,
to a GP.
They're general.
They're general, but they come with their own experience and own
Yes.
biases of ideas that
Bias.
they may not believe that people have ADHD or may not buy into it. So they're like, oh, I think you're just anxious or I think you're depressed. Like, but then you have to then go to another doctor
Yes.
who goes, look, I'm sure I'm right.
So the first day I got my Ritalin, for anyone listening, Ritalin is methylphenidate. It is a very long-used drug. It is a stimulant. It basically upregulates our dopamine neurotransmitters, and motivation is highly linked to dopamine. Most people associate dopamine with pleasure. It's actually motivation. Most people can summon the motivation to do the boring stuff. For someone with ADHD, if the activity is not pleasant, it is a physical struggle to bring myself to do the thing. Now, how many things being an adult are boring things that you just have to do?
Fucking most of them.
You brush your teeth, you clean your house, like it never stops. It's boring.
It's fucking... Remember? Yeah, anyway, this is a
Right.
different
The
topic,
first time I took Ritalin,
Put my washing away.
I deleted 8,000 emails that had been sitting there annoying me. I picked stuff off the floor that had been bothering me that I'd been stepping over for weeks. I completely cleaned my house. I did like 47 things in one day that I had been putting off because they were in the too hard basket.
Yeah. It must have been a good feeling.
Yeah, I was just like, holy shit, is this how everyone lives all the time?
Yeah.
Like,
nice.
man, my house has never been so clean in my life.
Yeah,
I organise my damn Tupperware.
Yep.
That's a big one. Like, hey, that makes things a lot easier, just FYI.
Yeah.
Yeah, but
so-
getting the right dose is hard.
Yeah, that'd be a tricky part.
Because if I'm not mistaken, Ritalin, as you said, is a stimulant which
Yes.
can confuse people because hyperactive disorder.
Yes.
So, but Ritalin to a person with ADHD actually slows you down. That's insane how it works.
So, if you consider it as everyone has a baseline of these neurotransmitters, of
Yes.
dopamine, of serotonin, if everyone's baseline is at 0, right, or, whatever, someone with ADHD, their baseline is going to be lower than that. So when someone who does not have ADHD takes these tablets, they're like, yes, they get a real speedy, energetic, sweaty party high.
Yeah,
People
right.
abuse these medications to party,
Yep.
to study.
Yep.
People take this fucking medication in powerlifting.
I know, and to anyone out there who's listening who's tried to bum my medication off me, either go and get a diagnosis or sort your shit out.
Or just,
Good.
why the fuck do you need Ritalin to powerlift?
Yeah.
You don't. The quick answer is you don't, and if you feel like you do, you might have ADHD. You just might not know it yet.
Oh, fuck.
But to touch base with what you said before, if someone who does not have ADHD takes these medications, they are very up. They might have disturbed sleep. They might feel like euphoria. People take it to party on.
Yeah, right.
For me, I get from I'm stuck on the couch and I have so many things to do and I can't do any of them to, oh, cool, yeah, I'll just do all those things now.
Yeah.
But it's a double-edged sword. It messes up your appetite.
Oh, dear.
Messes up your sleep. It can elevate anxiety if you've already got anxiety.
Yep.
And there's a lot of downsides.
Yep.
So everyone who takes the medication needs to balance out those good and the bad things.
So it's not just take it and fixed.
No,
There's
it's
still-
another tool in the toolbox.
Yeah.
It's
To which
not
you got to
magic.
then acquire more tools in some cases.
Yes.
You got to square away your nutrition.
Yes. Yeah. Nutritional deficiencies can make everything worse for everyone.
In just a general sense, and then you layer this on top.
Yes. So the biggest thing, and this is like adding supplements into anyone's routine. You need to tick off the little stuff first, the low-hanging fruit, the 1% stuff. Get your sleep sorted, drink more water, see some sunshine, see your friends. You do more of the things that make you feel good. you can't just take a pill and think that it's going to fix everything, because if that's your attitude, it's going to create more problems.
Fucking oath.
There's problems for your problems.
Yeah, here, your problems.
How
got
good are my problems? They've got problems.
So I see a psychologist every month to
Yep.
work on the behavioural side of the management.
Yep.
And
Yep.
to also unpack, 3 decades of feeling like a weirdo and
Yeah.
having no reason for it.
Yeah.
How's that process? Can't imagine that'd be fun.
Man, when you first get diagnosed, you get angry. You get
Yeah.
angry that everyone around you has noticed
Yep.
these behaviours and
Yep.
no one's trying to help.
Yeah.
Or that, if you think back on your childhood or your school experiences, you can think about all the times that these behaviours held you back or, caused you to not do something that you enjoy.
Yeah.
So for me, it's like a process of self-acceptance. Like, I can't fix the past, but what I can do, and this is what's catapulting me towards health education, I can summarize what I know, and I'm really good at doing that. So I can summarize what I learned about the process, what people needed to look out for, what material they needed to take with them. It's been good for me to learn about myself, but it's also made me more passionate about making healthcare and health literacy, so the understanding of healthcare, more accessible.
Yeah.
'Cause
100%.
life's hard. Doesn't need to be hard.
The hard thing, I guess, would be you'd be going about your general day until you know what's going on, as thinking that's your general day. How do you decide to go on the path to then investigate if that's something you've got?
Well, I think it's like anything. We've all had an illness or an ailment or something we've been a bit worried about, and it's not until it's like your car, right? Something goes wrong. It's like, how wrong does it have to go before you're like, got to take it to the mechanic? Before,
If it's our own bodies, most people, it's got to get
Yeah.
real wrong.
And so for most people, I think, like, if you had a bullet wound, you'd get that taken care of straight away. But if you've got lots of little things that are deteriorating your quality of life, it's like it's got to be the straw that breaks the camel's back before. And for me, that was trying to start uni in a pandemic online after 10 years of not studying, and my partner at the time was away with the border patrol efforts, and I was alone in this chaos, and all the stuff that I was using to manage was not there.
Yeah.
See, it's just like
So I had to break before.
Yeah, that sucks.
it's like you don't know what you don't know.
Yeah.
But
Absolutely not.
so you're going to keep carrying on the way you're going. But it's like with any sort of illness, dysfunction, whatever it is, everything's such a reactive model.
Yes, yes.
Like there is,
Physio is a great example.
physios are fucked. Like, and I'm sorry if you're listening. We've had a few.
That's
on
not
here.
my personal opinion.
That's not Merryn. That's not anyone
All
else.
allied health practitioners have a role in the system,
I'll take full ownership and bag you out. But-
except essential oil people.
oh, bro, let's not get started. Anywho, but
The reactive model of healthcare has to change.
it's got to. We have to become proactive, and I think
Ooh, that'd be nice.
in the
Way less sick people.
Don't wait till people are desperate and broken before you offer them help.
I think coaches and trainers are starting that, but the majority, and I don't obviously not talking about the people in this room, but the majority are still stuck in just trying to make a buck instead of trying to produce something and educate and
But-
give that education to.
you have to play the
become
long
proactive.
game, because if you give people value and you give them your time, genuinely give them your time, and build those relationships and those connections, it's not about like, a couple of little sales. It's about building a long-term relationship with somebody, and then they're going to do some of that work for you, because they're going to talk about you and they're going to be your champion because they're so stoked on the impact that you've had in their life.
100%.
I don't want 500 cheap clients in a challenge that I don't talk to the people. I want a network of great people that I continue to support and who continue to support me. Like, I don't want to be another internet trainer who has just, challenges going and just has, my assistant answering my emails. That's
Or even your assistant's
hello,
assistant's
fellow
down.
humans. Like,
Oh,
no.
fuck. Signed off with the
that's
person it's they think you think it
fuck
is.
it. Fuck that about it.
And I think that's the thing. Like, how long have you been coaching for?
I think when did
Around the time Jesus invented the
I
wheel.
was just thinking when he kicked off.
when
Yeah,
the wheel
he was
started.
coming out of a cave or something.
Yeah, I believe
fucking great.
paper was first being made.
I was thinking about it the other day, fucking ages ago. I don't know, maybe 14
Many,
years.
many moons
14
ago.
It has to be 14.
So on this couch alone, there's nearly 25 years of coaching experience. Like you don't get that without building long-term relationships. It's like,
No.
and I don't want to say like we are the biggest successes in the industry.
Don't call yourself a coach if the only thing you've coached yourself out of is your parents' house.
Ooh. I'm gonna put that on.
Hashtag life coach. Mate, something that's completely off topic,
But on topic.
but on topic at the
All
same time.
topics are good topics.
One of my, I don't know if you'd say it's favourite stories, but stories I really remember is when we had Paul Pegler on. Paul Pegler, heavily dyslexic, right? He got told in high school
Heavily dyslexic.
he was dumb. Up front, told dumb. He was told, I can't remember. He should
uni, I think it
he
was.
should either. No, this is before he went to uni. He
Oh,
wanted
yes.
to do the uni course, and they were like, "There's no way you'll get into this." And
Don't
they're
let
like,
people tell you what you can't do.
And for him, he talked about the study requirement then was a test. It was a 2-week long test. Like so, which is the exact opposite to how he can learn to do anything. But he just fucking memorized everything and said "fuck you" and got it right. But essentially, in high school, and he's older than me, so that makes him really old. Nobody recognised it, and he was just told he's dumb. You're going to be nothing. You should be. I think it was the janitor or something. I can't
Yep.
remember. But
Which, by the way, there is nothing wrong with being a cleaner or a custodian. The
Yeah.
only thing wrong with those professions is how people view them. People's attitude is the wrong thing.
But he was upfront around what he wanted to do. He wanted to go to the sports physio thing. He's like, no, you shouldn't be at uni. You should be at a job that doesn't have university involved. You need to do this. And it wasn't until a couple of years into uni, or maybe at the end, the lecturer sat him down and said, "Oh yeah, you're dyslexic."
So, well, dyslexia is dyscalculia is dyslexia with numbers. I am so bad at maths, but I picked up all the Latin in my anatomy courses and couldn't understand why no one else was keeping up.
Wow.
Like, oh yeah, that's this. It means this, which means there's this. And people are like, who are you? And why are you here?
Hi, I'm Merryn.
So, yeah,
Mayhem.
I got told I was dumb in high school and that I was never going to be anything.
Yep.
I also never did grade 8 and I graduated grade 12 in Queensland at 16. I was the youngest student at JCU in Cairns. I started my undergrad at 16. I turned 17, I think, in my first year of uni.
Wow.
So I was really popular in school. I used to read the dictionary and I had no friends.
Oh fuck.
Fuck, you're intelligent.
I'm not
High school
actually.
was a good time, mate.
High school was a bad time.
I just like, okay.
I was the only goth in a school in Cairns and it was 9 million degrees and it was not a good time to be wearing Doc Martens in the tropics.
Oh,
Yeah, fuck
God.
that.
But I
Everyone
stuck
else
to
is
my
wearing,
values.
Everyone else is wearing
Yeah.
thongs and listening to B105, I dare say.
I was the only goth in the village.
I just, like, those both stories, Pegler and yourself being told you're dumb. What type of teacher or person...
that's-
One that
incredible.
needs to get out of teaching.
Yeah.
And
Stop
go and be a
teaching.
miserable person somewhere else. Go be a
Holy
parking inspector.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Bro, I got a parking fine the other day going to see my psych.
I nearly got a parking fine out the front of the gym the other day because my car was 2 whispers onto the thing. And I'm like, if I back up anymore, I'm going through the front window.
People are fucked.
But going back to the being told you're dumb, that's a product. So I love to read, and one of my favourite books is Mindset by Professor Carol Dweck, and she discusses that there are 2 mindsets. There's a growth mindset and a fixed mindset. A fixed mindset is very simply telling someone they're dumb because you think that intelligence is born into people and that's it. And so if you're dumb now, you're always going to be dumb.
Dumb
and-
forever.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
But a
Well,
fixed, a growth mindset, it suggests that we are all, and I mean all of us, every one of us, all humans, are capable of learning.
I could not read.
Yeah.
Like, I'm going to just, you know...
I used to read about 40 books a week to the point where my teachers in primary school thought that I was lying on my book reports. And my mum got called into the office because I was forging my book, you know,
Get
when you...
fucked.
Yeah. And then I got told, my mum
What
got
a way
told-
to encourage a young lady.
But hyperlexia is actually signs of autism and ADHD.
Yep.
So that's another sign. It's not normal to read that many books a week.
It's a lot of books.
That's so many books. But
How
like,
did you conquer your dyslexia?
Well, I don't... See, it's not that I had dyslexia, but okay, so for so long, I was like... told I can't read for shit so long. But
But that didn't make you really enthusiastic about learning to read either.
fuck no.
You're
But it
getting
wasn't,
told you can't really just like
It
you
wasn't
buy in on it,
until-
right? You're like,
Yeah,
no, I
yeah.
can't. I won't.
exactly.
This is why your environment is important.
Yeah. It wasn't until I got glasses like 3 or 4
You
years
were like,
ago.
damn.
I was like,
is
oh
that
my
an N
God.
or an M?
I was
can
like,
see
I
the
could
words.
literally read a book without. So I
Headaches.
think I used to read. I timed or calculated. It was like 10 to 20 pages an hour of any book. Like it just take me so long. Now,
It's a skill too, right?
yeah,
Be able
and
to
now
read
it's
quick.
like I got glasses and immediately jumped to like 60.
So that's another example of you accessing an intervention that made you now can
Yeah.
read better,
Yeah.
right? So there's a difference between equity and equality, right?
Mm-hmm.
If you give everyone the same things, that's equality. That's not equity. If you give people the supports that they need, that's equity. So you getting glasses, we're just making things more accessible, right? So there's supports at all universities and most workplaces if you have things like ADHD.
Yep.
I read slowly because when I read, sometimes it doesn't sink in. So I have to read the same paragraph about 10 times sometimes. So I have negotiated with... there's a fantastic department at every university. So at UQ, it's called the Disability Inclusion and Student Services something. And I actually avoided getting adjustments for the ADHD because I saw the word disability and I thought, well, I'm not disabled. I'm not going to take resources away from people who need it more than me.
Yep.
And then someone in my class was like, oh, yeah, no, I've got ADHD and she's autistic as well. And she's like, man, like, go get the help. That's what it's there for.
Yeah.
And it's not because I didn't want to be seen as getting something that other people weren't getting. I wanted to get good grades and I didn't want people to turn around and say, oh, you only got good grades because you get all this extra help.
Yeah, right.
And that attitude needs to change.
Yeah, 100%.
Because everyone has the ability to do well in the right environment.
Yeah. You just needed the right environment.
So we need to change the attitude. I nearly didn't get help because of the word disability in the name of this service. I've got a great advisor. What's up, Larry? Hello.
Larry, that's sick.
My
not
disability
enough Larrys
advisor
out there, eh?
was Larry.
The only like
Yeah.
sorry,
Need more
Larry.
Larrys.
The only Larry I know was a fucking twat.
Really? This Larry sounds good. I like this Larry.
We've found one good one. So
Yeah, shout out to this Larry.
yeah, I get extra reading time in my exams.
Yep.
I sit my exams with other students with unique needs in a smaller room. I get toilet breaks and basically I get those accommodations to offset the very real negatives of ADHD.
Unique needs is a better word than disabilities, eh?
Because I mean, it depends. Some people are comfortable self-identifying, and
Yep.
also if your ADHD or your autism affects you to the point where you really need a lot of help, it can be disabling.
Yeah, yeah,
And
for
the
sure.
narrative that it's a superpower all the time is really dangerous.
Fucking oath. And I think a lot of people only
Toxic positivity.
the only people like it's. I used to be like that, 100%, and I put my hand up now for a bit.
So did I, until I realised that I had some real issues doing some easy, normal stuff.
The shit thing is though, you only see those superhumans. Like they only talk like Rain Man. That's what most people grew up knowing as. I think it was autism. You know, an odd bloke with an incredible ability to do this. You know,
You can be brilliant in your own way and have that not be recognised. And then, you know, I think making really broad sweeping generalisations about people's experiences with these conditions is harmful. You know, if you want to know what kind of language someone wants to talk about their experience with it, just ask them. Some people do identify as being disabled.
Yep.
Some people don't identify. Some people don't like the label ADHD. You know, so it's a really personal thing. I am open about it and I decided to talk about it because there are a lot of, you know, the pervasive attitudes about these things is, and it happens online as well. People always comment that it's a mental illness. I had a woman tell me I needed Jesus and I was mentally ill.
Oh, yeah, good. Jesus will
Lots
help.
of people are mentally ill and Jesus is not.
Kill
gonna fix
you!
it. Yeah. I literally got told I needed to pray and that Jesus would save me. And I'm like, I don't need saving.
I'm good, thanks.
I'm sure. I mean, Jesus.
No amount of prayer will
Oh,
change how
yeah.
my brain is wired.
If anyone's religious, I'm so sorry for about to say this, and if you're butthurt, I apologize. But like, Jesus thought he turned wine into water, bro. Like,
But I appreciate the confidence. You've got to
Concentrate
go
on
into
skills
all
for Jesus.
things with a great attitude.
Yeah.
he could have.
you've got-
The cool thing that you're doing and being open to discuss it, talk about it, you do it on your social media as
Yeah.
well, which is great. Hopefully there's some other Merryns out there
Yeah.
that start seeing some of the things you're talking about, saying they're like, oh, hang on, that's me. It is okay. Maybe they reach out and ask what are your ideas on getting help? Like, how fucking cool is that?
I'm making some content on this. I'm going to make a video describing the framework of getting diagnosed and the handy tips, because I have to repeat myself about ADHD diagnosis probably about 30 times a week.
Yeah, you can just have a go-to link now.
Yeah, and
or a YouTube video.
Look, mental health, understanding of ADHD and neurodivergence. So a neurotypical person is a person with a normal brain, and a neurodivergent person diverges from that normal. So a person cannot be neurodiverse because we only have one brain. So I want to reframe it, and I want to change the language, and I want people to own their shit. But also it's about learning about yourself. If you can't measure it, you can't manage it. So how the hell am I supposed to do well in life if I don't understand where my deficiencies are and where my skills are? So
how do you measure it?
The ADHD or my poor habits?
Let's go both, actually. Or let's go with poor habits.
Time blindness. Time exists in a very different way for me. So I used to be very late all the time, and it's burned a lot of friendships because people associate lateness with disrespect.
Yeah.
This person does not give a fuck about my time, or they wouldn't be half an hour late again.
Yeah, right.
Constantly losing things, constantly forgetting things. There's only so many years you can forget someone's birthday before they just stop answering your texts. So there are very real lived consequences. It's not...
Yeah, that sucks.
Yeah, people just think you're a rude bitch and don't want anything to do with you.
Yeah.
People like genuinely... Sorry, I'm just a little caught up that you forget their birthday and people get really butthurt about that.
Google Calendar's amazing, guys. Get onto a calendar system.
I've forgotten so
Hack
many
the
people's
system.
birthdays.
Yeah. But that's what's cool. You can use things like that because
Technology.
you recognize there's these things that challenge you, so you can go, okay, cool, well, dates and blah blah blah.
Yeah.
You can put in place those things,
and that's part of as well. So identifying what it is, working with the psychologist, and working through some of the things that I notice. So things like time. I have a morning routine. Routine is a double-edged sword, because routine is the environment and the conditions under which most people will do really well. You've got structure, you've got consistency. When you've got structure and consistency, if something's not working, you can pinpoint what. When your life is mayhem and chaos, where do you even start? How do you know what's letting you down if you don't know what the fuck's going on and every day is just a wild ride? You don't know where the fiesta's going to take you. So routine, I rebel against it naturally.
Yeah.
But training and eating and sleeping to push my training goals up.
Yeah.
I had to force myself, and I did really well.
Yeah. Because that's another thing. You've done some powerlifting.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, you've had a dabble.
Just a little bit. So I got into training in 2010 after I got some photos back from a Vegas trip, and I was so bloated from alcohol and poor food that my eyes were yellow.
Oh, yuck.
And I looked at those pictures.
They're not meant to be yellow.
No, guys, if the whites of your eyes are yellow, you should probably go to the doctor because your liver is angry at you. So
we can giggle now.
This is
100%.
I looked at these photos and I thought, fuck, I look terrible.
Yep.
And there was nothing really dramatically wrong, but I could tell in my face that I looked shit because I was treating my body like shit.
Yeah.
And I felt terrible. So I got a coach, I got a PT, who I am still following on socials now.
Oh, cool.
Leon Price in Perth. Hello.
Shout out Leon.
Yeah, and within a couple of months, I got in this routine. I was learning about weight training. He, taught me why I needed to eat properly for training.
Cool.
And pretty much gave up drinking and got into bodybuilding style training because I lived in Townsville, and all there was to do in Townsville was get drunk and party or go to the gym.
Yep.
Yeah,
So
Biceps and tries.
Yeah.
Bodybuilding. Shoulders Mondays.
And then I did fitness modelly stuff, and I worked for a bunch of American supplement companies, did a lot of conventions. And then I ended up getting into powerlifting in January of 2015 at Valhalla.
Yeah.
went through a rubbish breakup, and I was at the time dating a bodybuilder who used to shit all over powerlifters. And so I thought, what's the one spot I'm never going to run into this goon?
Yes, well played.
I walked into Valhalla, and everyone in there was built like a silverback gorilla, and I was like, yes, this will suit.
This will do.
This will work nicely.
Yeah, hell yeah.
A couple of months later, I never wanted to be a powerlifter.
No, that's how everyone starts.
I didn't want to be a powerlifter. I didn't want to look like a powerlifter. I didn't want to do the powerlifting.
Didn't want to compete.
I lost a lot of my deals with supplement companies, and I lost about 24,000 followers on Instagram when I stopped posting pictures of my abs.
Really?
Yeah. Back in 2013, I had about 30,000 Instagram followers. And,
Oh, wow.
When I stopped posting what I call thought shots, so pictures of my abs and whatever, gratuitous flexing,
Yeah.
I lost a lot of my audience. And around that time, I was just like, fuck it. I could deadlift a smart car. I'm having a good day. It didn't matter. I don't mind being judged if the judge is an idiot.
Yep.
So I got into powerlifting, did the Gold Coast qualifier at the start of that year at the old PTC Gold Coast.
Cool.
Oh, Runaway
Came
Bay.
third, yeah. Got my little trophy still
Oh,
next
was
to my
that one?
TV.
I was at that one,
Ooh.
yep.
I think I squatted 135, benched 65, and deadlifted 140.
Nice.
Because that was the year where they didn't have the qualifying totals. And that was
the March of 2015.
Yeah.
And I actually competed like 8 days after a car accident. I think it was actually April.
The qualifier.
Yeah.
Jesus.
Oh, that could have been the last minute qualifier.
And
yes.
then Nats. And then I went to Nats
I think,
after
the
that.
Goldie. Yeah. That's the one where it went super late into the night on the Saturday.
Yeah, that was Nats was my worst competition ever. I took an ill-advised aggressive weight cut, and my bench. I forgot the part where you're supposed to push it back up, and I just sat there with my thoughts and the barbell down on my chest.
Yeah.
So don't do aggressive weight cuts ever unless you're really elite, and that's your only best option. If you're beginning, don't do weight cuts because you'll have a bad time. I cut from 73 to 66 in a week.
Oh, yeah. Hungry.
I'm too
Hungry
tall to be a
human.
67 kilo
Jesus.
lifter.
Yeah.
Way too tall.
Yeah. So I decided to just roll in at 75. Went to Worlds that year in Las Vegas, the GPCSPC Worlds. I've still got my suit.
What an experience.
It was insane. It was insane. And it was so expensive. The exchange rate was terrible. But we had a massive team that year.
Yeah.
Massive. I've still got my soft suit, my loaded lifting soft suit with
Sick.
my name on the back.
Yeah.
So my human name is Merryn Armstrong,
Yeah.
which is a hilarious name for a powerlifter.
That's an exceptional.
My bench
That's
sucks.
a great
it's a
last
lie.
name.
It's a lie. My bench sucks.
Yeah, mad.
And I actually won.
That's cool.
That's right. You did too. The Worlds, yeah.
I did. Sneaky little gold medal at the Worlds in 2015.
No big deal. Just a little gold medal.
But this is another thing about mindset. So when I walked in, we got there, long flight, salty food. Everyone was feeling pretty terrible. They posted the openers. Obviously we did weigh-in, and they posted the openers. And I remember saying to the person that was coaching me at the time, I don't deserve to be here. I looked at the openers, and some of the girls' openers in the under 75s were they were like 20 or 30 kilos more than I'd ever picked up in my life.
Oh, shit.
I felt so small and so inadequate, and I felt like I was going to embarrass our team. I was going to embarrass everybody, and just that I didn't deserve to be there. So the people around me were pretty much like, cut the shit. You've got just as much right to be here as anyone else.
Yeah, right.
And yeah, I ended up pulling 162.5 because that's all I needed, 2.5 kilos to win.
Yeah, nice.
Right.
And so that's another example of not YOLOing it on your third. Be strategic because I wouldn't have won if I'd overshot
So
and failed.
you're opening 20 to 30 kilos less on the squat than these people and caught up and then won.
Yes.
That's a fucking mad story.
Turns out in 2015, a lot of people couldn't squat very well.
Yeah, fucking.
Everyone could bench like absolute maniacs. Benches were brilliant that year, but the squats, I took a big lead in the squats. Actually, I remember a couple of people at that year. We did so well. I've got a photo. We had podium finishes in every category from like the what is it, 56
Yeah.
onwards.
Cool.
We took junior records. Like,
Yep.
Australia did bloody well.
Yeah.
So yeah, 162 kilo deadlift is nothing these days, but back in 2015, that was pretty cool.
Yeah, back then, absolutely.
Yeah, because women weren't really getting into powerlifting in any large way.
It was pretty much from memory. Like, I think Billa went.
Yes. Yep. Billa, Susie Maud, Lizzie Nelson.
That's right.
Rebecca Buckley, who's now Rebecca Gilbert.
That's right.
I was
Yourself.
there with Scott and Tish Watson from Valhalla.
Nick Weir went.
Nick Weir, absolutely. Yep, Coach Nick Weir went. We had a massive team.
I think Grant Sandow.
Yeah. Yes, actually, yeah.
Grant Sandow went. Steve. I want to say Stephen Allison. I don't think he did though.
I'm not sure. I can't remember. It was obviously this is like 7 years ago.
Oh fuck! It is 7 years ago now.
Long time ago, bro.
Well, 7 years this year. Time goes very fast when
That
you're having
was-
fun. But I won. Yeah. I had a competition that I felt like that the day before I didn't have any.
What a
right
cool
to be
experience.
there. Yeah, probably that was one of my favorite things ever. Actually, no. Stephen Allison was there because we all went to the shooting range the next day,
That's
and
right.
we all
Yeah,
shot a
yeah,
bunch
yeah.
of big guns in America,
I think
where
it's like.
legal.
That's cool. That's
yeah.
part of the fun of a world's trip like that.
Oh.
It's not just the actual
Yeah.
event, but the team experience that comes with it, right?
There was not a single box of Epsom salts at any pharmacy within 5 Ks of that hotel.
What?
Because everyone was hot bathing and it was impossible to weight cut because the humidity. No
in
one was
Vegas.
sweating. People were doing like runs of the stairs trying to make weight.
Oh, fuck.
Long haul flight, salty food, fluid retention, unfamiliar foods.
Everyone was holding water like
everyone
camels.
Yeah,
and not
everyone-
like unfamiliar foods in a sense. Like it's heavily deep fried and salt.
Also, portion sizes are insane, and because the exchange rate was so poor, most people were like ordering a sandwich and sharing it because the portion's so insane.
Ricky Goodyear went to that world.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, that's right.
Wonderful, wonderful man and very motivating.
And very handsome. Just want to quick
king.
shout it.
Look, we had some
Where
really
is
great people back then, and like any industry or sport, some also really not great people, but you're going to find that everywhere.
Yeah,
You're going to
yeah.
align yourself with the good people.
Yep.
And a lot of people that went on that trip, have
there.
moved in other directions. They're not part of lifting anymore.
Oh, Ricky Goodyear's retired, come back,
Takes
and
some great
gone
photos
back.
of the cosmos, though.
Yes, he does. He's
Epic
back
photography.
marathon running, or no, ultra marathon running.
Ultra marathon running.
Of course he does. He doesn't do anything in
He's
half
extreme.
days. Fucking hands.
Would you have another run at it of like
Lifting?
to a comp like that at a standard like that, or
Yes. I think...
Equipped, I heard. Was it equipped?
yeah, there we go, multiply.
yeah,
There we go.
I heard equipped.
No. I have enough of a struggle getting my leg sleeves without having to be poured into an equipped suit.
It's so bad.
Like the
It's-
humidity at the moment.
No, like I'm just making lols for Johnny's sake, but I did one session with him and it was fucked.
It's a hoot.
It's not. It's just not.
You find out who your friends are when they're willing to suspend you off a squat rack and force you into a suit.
That's
very
great friend.
willing if,
Great friend.
Merryn, if you say to me, give me that nod and say, you know what, that bench shirt looks kind of nice. I'll go upstairs to one of those drawers and grab you one.
It's fashion, Susan. Look it up.
To be honest, I've done a squat suit and I've done a dead suit, but I haven't done a bench suit. So there's still something in my brain that's like, let's try it.
Yeah, there is.
People at Worlds from some countries got busted cheating. The refs were really giving people a good old pat down. There were people wearing briefs under their shorts.
Classic.
And there were people trying to get by with wraps double the length of the rule.
Classic.
So the judge had some scissors. He's like, either cut them or I'm taking them. A bunch of people got disqualified, and some of the Australian coaches got into it with the refs for some calls that year. It was an exciting adventure that year.
The old classic squat brief under the onesie.
I got in
Lovely.
trouble for wearing.
This is at a world level, okay?
Yeah.
It's not their first rodeo.
There's a guy at IPF just recently. He got ran out of the thing because he had a bench shirt under his shirt.
Yes. Don't
What the
cheat.
fuck?
Cheating is a product of
I
that
got-
fixed mindset.
See, I get like those cases, but I got told off for wearing 2 pairs of briefs when I squatted, like just like undies. I was like, that's in case I shit myself. I have bowel
But
issues.
in the rule book, it says there's a specification for the ply, because one year the Titan soft suits, there was an extra lining in the crutch and it had,
had
to
to
be
cut
cut
it
out
out? Yeah.
because of GPC rules. Yeah.
Inza.
Oh, yeah.
It was Inza because I had to cut it out.
No, it was Titan. I had to cut it out. Must have been both.
I had to get Scotty Watson had to watch me away and cut it out because I didn't. I was like, bro, what am I doing to this thing? I'm not getting any help out of it.
You're
because-
like,
I think
you're
I
like,
got-
which
just make
part
sure
am
I'm
I
with-
cutting out? Am I cutting a glory hole out? Where are we?
Yeah, exactly right.
How
I think I
much do
got
I
Tish
cut?
to cut
Yeah,
mine.
like
actually.
why am I cutting it out? And like, do I have to see you later with this cut out or what?
Then I had to cut mine from the inside, not the outside one. Because if I cut the outside one, then I'd know there's a fucking a hole in it. It wouldn't have worked with.
Because then we're not just out to see powerlifting, okay? But yeah, no.
2015 was a good year for powerlifting.
The Australian team did really well. I got invited to Pro Raw that year, actually. I
you do
didn't
it?
make it down.
No.
I did 3 big comps in 1 year, and that was enough. I decided that I might break if I pushed it.
That was
And
Pro
then-
Raw 7.
Pro Raw, the standard for female lifters, really got blown out of the water.
Oh, since then, hasn't it?
But that's actually something I'm loving about Fortitude and Capo as a federation. I'm finding that the events are much more accessible to everyone, and I love that because competition shouldn't be reserved for the best of the best. Because how do you get better at competing? You have to you
Compete.
need to get reps at competing.
Yeah.
Which means that all these competitions need to still be accessible, and people need to not think. Obviously, your novice competitions and your regional qualifiers, they're a great place for people to feel comfortable competing.
They are, but then I get like the shits with people who keep doing novice comps. I'm
Oh
like,
yeah, no. In
do a
my
novice
opinion,
comp, just fucking move on.
if you've ever podiumed in anything like in powerlifting at any competition, you have no business in a novice comp.
Mate, I think you should just be doing any more 2 novice comps. You're no longer a novice.
Yeah.
But I will say, and this is probably something that not everyone has really thought about. The benefit of the novice comp is that you don't have to buy all the equipment,
Yeah, absolutely.
and also a lot of people are not at a point where they're comfortable wearing spandex in front of their peers. So I remember there was an article by a female super heavyweight about 5 years ago who said that she was an amazing lifter. She was up there. She avoided competing in sanctioned competitions for a long time, not because the skill development wasn't there, but because she wasn't ready to wear the mashed potatoes suit.
Yeah, mashed potato suit, all right.
And I had the same thing. You get to a powerlifting comp and the bench is facing out, and you're like, we're gonna.
Yeah, well, we make a concerted effort to ensure that it's on an angle away. So if you have a live feed, it's not fucking staring.
dicks out for the boys.
Yeah, and it's not at the audience for that.
Yeah, people
But-
don't want to look at that.
And you've got a better visual on the angle anyway because
Yes.
you can actually see what's happening.
Yeah. So, I know a lot of people avoid novice competitions because of that. And I'm here to say very, very few people look amazing in soft suits, and everyone's wearing them, so no one gives a shit what you look like.
I like
in
to
a soft
explain
suit.
it like going to a costume party. Like if you go to a costume party and you're not wearing a costume, you feel like the odd one out. So you go comp, you're wearing a onesie, you just look like everyone else. It's all
Everyone's
good.
wearing it.
Just
Yeah.
Like short Mondays.
Yeah, like short
On
Mondays.
Mondays, we wear
Fortitude.
short shorts.
have you
Absolutely.
guys seen the movie Are We Officially Dating with Zac Efron?
Unfortunately, no, I've missed that
say I have.
cinematic classic.
You guys need to watch it because there's like a really good thing where she's
Is
like,
it just one big long ad for Gap?
it's a romantic comedy. And
A rom-com?
It is a rom-com that I thoroughly enjoyed, but there's a scene there where he gets invited to this like birthday party, but there's miscommunication, and he thinks it's like a dress-up party, but she meant like dress up in like good clothes, and then he rocks up with like as a rock star with a fucking dildo out of his pants, like rock out with my cock out.
Yeah,
it's
oops.
fucking the best thing ever.
That seems a lot like you're not going to make a lot of new friends.
Yeah, it was fucking funny.
But that's another example about why effective communication is important.
Yeah.
Because what you say and what the person hears is not always the
Yep.
same thing.
Yep. Need a little bit more.
Ooh, hello.
Need a little bit more context
Absolutely.
with your language choice and words
Yeah.
delivered to the humans.
Yeah, so that actually translates over to coaching. I've found a lot of my clients have very specific verbal cues because the traditional packet of cues does not work for them.
Oh, it doesn't like it.
I don't think it works for many people. Everything
Exactly.
needs
It's like
specific.
I could throw.
Yeah, stop just shouting words at people. It doesn't mean anything.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, communication's a big one.
Yeah.
Oh, actually, here's a fun little story. So at the Nationals before the Worlds in 2015, I bombed my bench and like bombed, and I would have been coming third if I hadn't bombed my bench. And I was so embarrassed. I ran out, and we were in like a really nice hotel, so naturally the only place
Grand
I could
Chancellor.
think to just sit was under a massive piano in the Grand Chancellor. Because, be upset and cry, but, do it under a piano. And one of the event organisers came out and was like, are you gonna pull your deadlifts? And I'm like, well, I can't post a total, so there's no point. I don't want to waste everyone's time. It was already a really long day. And the rule book basically says if you bomb out, it's at the organiser's discretion whether or not you can lift. And I just felt so sad that I couldn't do it. And one of the event organisers is like, no, we want you to deadlift. Come on, get out there. We really want you to deadlift. And yeah, so big turnaround. I went from crying under a piano in a Gold Coast hotel to pulling a 20 kilo deadlift PB, and one of the ugliest deadlifts I've ever pulled in my life. I decided that my thumbs were going to break before I let that thing go.
Yes.
And I pulled 160. It was 20 kilos heavier than I'd ever picked up.
Mad.
That's cool.
Someone, the person had, the organizer came out, took the time to come out and be like, yeah, we want you to compete. Don't sit here crying. Come out and rip a deadlift. Do it.
And rip your spine.
Yeah, so I think, it's really important to let people know things like, if you fail, if you fuck it up, fine. We've all done it. We've all been there. Just get on with it.
Yeah, I've seen comps where they haven't let people go through before.
If there is time,
always 100%. There's always
people,
time, though.
Let people do what they prepared for.
Yeah.
Because it's like a client session, right? If something doesn't go right, you want to end it on a win, though. Because people don't always remember what you say, but they remember how you make them feel.
I've always said that, but I think sometimes people need to feel shit. If they've had a bad session because they fucked up, sit with that feeling so it doesn't happen again.
But also ask that person. Sometimes things don't go well because of things that are beyond someone's control.
Oh, 100%.
Because
Context is everything.
Ask for help.
The context is everything. But if they've come into the gym and they've spent the day not doing the things they need to do to perform and they have a shit session, that's on them. That's 100%. You need to feel shit so you don't do that again.
I always if someone doesn't have a win in a session, I always still like to reframe it and think of the things in that session that went well, or take that thing that didn't go to plan and set them up with something to work on.
So it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
100%.
Yeah, because, people have probably been told that they're shit and they're failures or they're whatever, insert limiting statement here. We're all adults. A lot of us have learned pretty shitty ways of coping with failure and bad things. So sometimes it's nice to be like, look, today was not your day, but maybe now you're going to do those damn accessories I put in your program.
Yeah, 100%. I think it's just...
Oh, you got to do the accessories.
Yeah.
Yeah, it turns out you have to do
accessories aren't just a range of options. They're not a mere suggestion.
Yeah, you don't get to pick your favourite two and then toddle on out.
You're not looking through an Isuzu catalogue going, I'm going to put those roof racks on.
Yeah, so I think it's important still to celebrate the wins and to connect with people and find out what's going wrong.
Absolutely. Miss Merryn Mayhem.
Yes. 20 questions. Let's go, ladies
Well,
and
I'll
gentlemen.
give you 20 if you want, but I'll stick it with 10. It's the new 10 for the new year.
Have I answered these?
Yeah, you had a good crack at it. I enjoyed it.
I don't remember.
What'd you have for dinner last night?
Oh, yeah, these ones.
Actually, yes, this is going to be a good one. So last night I went to Joy Restaurant.
Joy Restaurant.
Joy Restaurant is a tiny restaurant. It serves 8 to 10.
Oh.
It has been eluding me, and a booking and a reservation has been eluding me since pre-pandemic.
Yeah.
Managed, I was treated out to dinner as a celebration of my new job and my friend's new job. Joy is owned by Sarah, and she's got literally 2 staff and her. It's a fine dining, intimate experience.
Oh, yeah.
So I ate 2 hours of delicious food and paired wines.
Oh,
Where's this?
that's out of dinner.
It's in a little alley just down from Susie Wong's and Spaghetti-O in the valley.
Oh, yeah.
Little hidden place, but as soon as you step in, just beautiful. 2 dessert courses, a lamb course, a Wagyu course, a little tasting course, which was...
I need to, I'm going to put this episode...
A spanner crab
back.
tart.
Oh.
And also a little gnocchi bite. And it was just beautiful, small artistic portions. Just the last dish I ate had gold leaf on it.
Oh,
so
stop it. Well,
got to celebrate hard.
I'm going to put this episode
your dinner
out
definitely
later.
beats my dinner.
Yeah.
Brando,
What'd you guys have?
how's your dinner stacking up on that?
Oh, I had Like, it wasn't that good, but like that.
Was there gold leaf?
That was one of the best meals I've eaten in my life. So
Yeah,
it's totally
I'm not gonna
okay.
lie. Like, I had my homemade like my own bolognese, but then I also had 3 hot cross buns in the air fryer, which
Shout out to anyone who has an air fryer. They're fantastic.
yeah, like
Change your life.
Okay, butter on the hot cross bun,
Straight in
then
the air
put
fryer.
it in the air fryer.
3 minutes, done. What's in the boot of your car, Merryn?
Way too much shit that I need to get out. There's a Vitamix that's been in the boot of my car since August 2020.
Mad.
I wish I was exaggerating, but I'm not. My gym bag.
Yes.
There's a Vitamix.
Yes.
There's a bunch of gym towels.
Yep. Soon to be on Marketplace if you need a Vitamix.
Yeah, I got rid of the 200 water bottles that were taking up space. What about you? What's in the boot of your car?
I got, I can tell you next to it is Kendra's high chair that she didn't like, so she got a new one. And in the boot is oil.
Oh, no, I've also got a big jug of coolant
Yeah, lovely.
because you never know when you're going to need coolant.
When did
That's
you last
very
change
true.
your bed sheets?
Yesterday.
Well played.
Sheridan bed sheets. I refuse to sleep on sheets that feel like cardboard.
Well
Sandpaper.
played.
Yeah.
Sandpaper.
Your middle name?
Elise, like Beethoven's for Elise.
Oh, your favourite year and why?
Ooh, that's a tough one. I'd probably say I've had a lot of good years. I've had a lot of bad years, which makes the good years really, really great. I want to say this one, even though we're not even over yet. This one's
We're just getting
starting.
started.
Look, January was a warm up. Fuck January. February, we're doing 11 months this year.
I believe it's already February though.
2022, baby. Here we go.
Yeah,
Ready for 2022.
this year, yeah, 2022.
Now,
Favorite cassette, first ever cassette, CD, or record you ever owned?
The first CD I ever owned was the Hanson album, and my neighbour won it on the radio, and her teenage boys were like, ugh. So I got the Hanson CD, and I had never been more excited to receive
fucking
the CD.
pop is like
Bop. Yeah.
crack.
Hanson.
Last dream you had?
I don't remember I remember my dreams when I wake up, but they're never really good. They're very abstract. But I do talk in my sleep as well. Anyone that slept next to me knows that if they start a conversation, they're going to have a hilarious time, and I'm not going to remember anything. If I ever fall asleep near you, don't talk to me.
What will you do when you retire?
Never slow down. I don't know. I'll probably do volunteer work. I might write a book. I don't know. Gardening.
Gardening's nice.
I don't live to work. So I would like to retire when I'm financially able to, but I don't wish to ever stop doing things, because when we stop moving and we stop living, we die.
Oh, yeah. Your morning routine, please.
My morning routine is dictated by my 4-year-old Balinese cat, Tennyson. Tenny starts the morning by screaming the song of his people at 6:30, and then he'll slam the bedroom door, which is code for get up, I'm hungry. So after I've wedged a sofa cushion in the door so he can't keep slamming it, I get up and feed the cat to quiet that noise. Have a coffee.
Yep.
I've been kicking off with cardio most mornings just to get outside or to get the blood flowing because it's been raining. So even just 15, 20 minutes cardio, coffee, breakfast, Concerta, like ADHD medication, and then emails or clients first up and then emails. But I've just come off 12 years of working nights, so I'm trying really hard to be a morning person.
Yeah. Welcome
So-
to the mornings.
Sometimes my first word is fuck. But after that, everything's good.
Yes,
I
nice.
feel like you need to get that primal
Get
scream
that
out
sun
of fuck,
coming
and
up.
then you're done.
Wake up and scream at the sun.
Hell
no,
yeah.
no. Usually starts with feeding my cat and coffee.
What are your thoughts on AI?
Elon Musk identified about 5 years ago that we'd already gone too far and we were fucked. I think that we
Oh, yeah.
are going in a very dangerous direction. And like all pieces of technology, AI offers, hope in a lot of medical and scientific applications, but it also offers dread because all technology is able to be misused and appropriated for military or war efforts, and I just disagree. I think technology and science is fantastic and innovation is wonderful and should never stop. But I really think that we need to stop fucking with AI before Terminator becomes real.
Yeah, I didn't like how that movie went.
No.
Or iRobot.
No. I believe in using technology and systems to augment things and to make things easier or more efficient. But I think there needs to be a line drawn between creating a sentient being that has no soul.
Hey, that's an incredibly good answer.
Sorry.
No, like
We
that's
need to be cautious.
And you win. That's 10 out of 10 correct.
There's always going to be greedy people that want to take technology and cause harm, and I don't agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
100%. Before we wrap up and do the...
Wiki.
Wow. Okay, yeah, cool.
DJ, be bad in the house.
Yeah. His one-liners today have been outstanding.
I'm a dad. I'm allowed to.
Yeah, you are true.
The dad jokes are free. You heard it here first.
Where can people find you? Do the whole social media shout-out stuff.
Okay, so I have just created Mayhem Strong. That's my coaching brand. The guys at FB have been kind enough to let me join. So now I'm coaching face-to-face out of Fortitude Barbell. I'm also offering online coaching. So you can find me at Mayhem Strong on Instagram. And I don't have my phone number on the internet because that's
smart.
a dangerous game.
You know how much I regret putting my phone number on the internet? I now get fucking calls.
About as many unread text messages and calls from private numbers as you get.
Fuck, it's just dumb. My dumb mistake.
You can slide into my DMs or you can use the book now button to book a consult.
Slip into the DMs.
We'll post all those. Yeah, we fucked
You can
up one
knock
day.
politely and
We'll put it all in the show notes. Thank you so much for joining us today. An incredible story, and you're on a mission, and we really wish you all the best, and can't wait to get you back on.
Thanks for having me here, guys.